Hello and welcome again to the Sisterhood of Motherhood Podcast. I am so glad you are joining me today, and I'm excited about how the podcast is going and the directories that we're being listed in and the people that are talking about it. And my purpose is to build this community to help us understand more about just motherhood in general. I want to share insights and information about motherhood to help us along with the journey, and we all have a lot to share with each other. Today we're going to go over some major topics that are of interest to all moms and households: discipline and motivation. Also going to talk about how education is not in the news, and we don't know why, but maybe we'll talk about that. I'm also going to break off to show those that are watching the video some things in my greenhouse, but I will talk about what I grow and why this time of the year. And I'll end just with some positive notes that I've received, and also a little sneak peek about a very important resource for learning about careers in the next episode, but I'll briefly mention that at the end. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is discipline. Oh my goodness. The biggest word that comes to mind that makes discipline work is consistency. Whatever you decide to do, just try to be as consistent as possible. And if you're not consistent and you mess up, you need to tell your kids or your friends or your spouse, this is what I really meant to do. I'm going to try to do better. Discipline has to do with following through, making goals and tasks that are realistic, keeping communication open, and the expectations realistic. So first you need to actually teach your kids what you want them to know about their behavior by modeling it yourself. You want them to be more patient and pick up after themselves, then you be more patient and pick up after yourself, and even say it in front of them. Just say, I'm tired, but mom's going to go in here for 10 minutes and put away these towels or whatever. So you want to model it yourself. You want to talk with them calmly and gently. And also say, now what did I just say? Repeat to me what you think I meant. And see if they understood you. Avoid the yelling and the threatening, because that tone just inspires fear. We don't want that. Be firm when you mention a consequence and stick to it. It's so much easier to give in or postpone a consequence for you, but it'll come back to bite you, because later on your child's discipline will be waning because they probably feel they can get away with something. So be firm and stick to it. Be fair. Consequence should fit the crime. Catch your kids being good. Just say, you know what, you have just been playing so nice with your brother or your sister, or you did such a great job, parking the car, or whatever, your teenager, or just catch them being good, and just say it. Just say, and I appreciate that. Also, know what consequences you want your child to face and communicate those consequences to them. Don't forget to tell them you love them, but you may not love what they did, or you may be very disappointed at the behavior. Not, I'm disappointed with you. You need to really separate that. I'm really disappointed in the way you acted. I really wished better for you in that decision that you made. Not, you're so irresponsible. I don't like, what you've become, or any, horrible words like that. We all have experienced that, the bullying, things like that in our childhood. So anyway, those are just some tips on discipline. As far as motivation goes, it kind of goes along with it. There's tips to help you stay motivated, engaged, and ready for any challenge, and that's you as well as your family and your friends and your parents even. You can build these in your kids too. And the first one is a biggie. Surround yourself with positive people. If you're going to have your kids mad at you for anything, let them be mad because you told them that they couldn't hang out with somebody. Because boy, does it steer their life one way or the other who they hang out with. So surround yourself with positive people. Practice positive self-talk. We all have an inner voice. There's always a positive spin you can put on something that you're speaking to yourself about. And again, we want to model this to our children. Also, use motivating self-notes. I used to actually put scriptures written out on the mirror in my bathroom and in my kitchen on my fridge. Change them up, put positive self-notes. Turn failures into successes. When something doesn't go well, learn from the experience and use that knowledge to do better next time. And when you're modeling this and saying this, your family is learning from it. Your children are learning from it so that they can become successful when they're adults. And hit refresh. When you're overwhelmed, just walk away. There's nothing wrong with that. Listen to music, have lunch with a friend. I just put things down when I'm in the middle of doing something, and I don't have to put it down, but sometimes I just feel tired and I've lost interest, and I say to myself, I'm not going to do a good job with this or enjoy my next hour with this, so I'm just going to stop doing this. Whatever motivates you, surrounding-wise or time of day, fit that into helping you to accomplish things that are hard for yourself. So if you have effective output in the mornings, then that's when you do your important tasks. If you are in a better mood when everyone comes piling home after the end of the day, if you're playing music, or if the lights are a certain way, or if the window's open, get it, don't hesitate to just create that atmosphere. Find out what motivates you as far as an atmosphere goes. And the last motivational tip, try to have confidence in yourself, even though things could be challenging and there might be difficult times. So I want to go on to something that it puzzled me and disturbed me and kind of made me angry. And this is the fact that education is not in the news. When you go, and I printed this out and I'm going to read it to you. When you go to all the legacy media, I think there's 5 or 6 different ones I went to, all across the headers on their website are world news, politics, health, money, entertainment, crime, sports, no education. That is for CBS, NBC. Videos, live shows, elections, shopping. Nothing on education. NBC, politics, U.S. news, world, business, sports, shopping. NBC News tip line and health. Health's very important. Nothing on education. Education not in the news again in the Wall Street Journal. World, business, U.S., politics, economy, tech, finance, opinion, arts and culture, lifestyle, real estate, personal finance, health and style, and sports. They couldn't fit an education tab up there. I just don't get it. So what I did was I Googled education news. I just Googled it. And the AP and edweek.org did have something. But you want to know what their bullet points were for their education news? AP, death of 3 football players. The oldest living spelling bee champ. The World Series starts the day schools shut down. Police arrest 80 protesters. That's what the AP wants to give you to educate you about the topic of education. Then there's edweek.org. Now, I got to give them credit. They did have a good first article. The science of reading. Takeaways from Trump's conviction for educators. The fading promises of desegregation. And teachers dressing professionally. That was their topics for education. What should be the topics? Well, there's so much about education theory, ways you can learn, attitudes, perspectives on organizing your learning, even as an adult learner. There's models of learning. There's so much, and I want to get into some of that later, because it's effective to learn different strategies and learning methods that you can apply to your home and to your teaching your children, because we as parents are the primary educators, whether we're doing the ABCs or not. But I'm just baffled that education is not in the news. They don't have the wherewithal to give it its own heading on their main menu. That just kind of disturbs me. So anyway, now I'm going to switch to the gardening. And I am going to share with you what I'm growing and why. And it involves moringa, rosemary, and sweet potatoes. There are several things that I'm growing in my greenhouse, and the first thing are the sweet potato slips. These sweet potato slips get planted in the ground after I create the slips on the potatoes themselves. You have to bury the potato in the ground, and then you break off the slip after you see it maybe 8 to 10 inches growing off the potato. And then I just place the slip in water so the roots can develop until I'm ready to put them in the ground. And then from one plant I might get 6 to 8 sweet potatoes by the end of fall. Another plant I'm always growing is rosemary, and that's because I use it on eggs, I use it on chicken, I use it as a tincture. And another plant I grow a lot of now is moringa. Moringa is considered a miracle plant. It has vitamins and minerals that are used in developing nations to save the people from starving to death and becoming malnourished. I crush the leaves and I put them in everything from meatloaf to salads. And then of course I'm growing celery because when I buy it from the store, you simply cut the end off and save the end and put it in dirt, and then you have celery. So please make sure that you pick something that's going to work good for you. Now regarding livestock, the main things you're looking for is every day for them to have fresh water and to have hay, to have their daily grain, and for you to check for safety issues wherever they're penned up. So when you've got your little guys running around or caged up, you're going to again look for the water and the hay and the daily feed and any safety issues. Something maybe they could cut themselves on or something that's loose. As you raise your animals, you make sure they're happy and at peace, and you're going to judge them based on what they're going to be good for you to use. All the ewes in my Katahdin sheep are kept, whereas the rams are butchered. And we talked about that in other videos. Okay, and now let's just go ahead and finish up with some notes of thanks that I received from parents, which I just love this so much. Dear Nancy, thank you for all the pertinent information we recently discussed. Nancy, thank you. John's homeschool report card. The insurance company accepted it with no problem. And of course you get a discount for your student when they have good grades. And we have our private school for homeschooling families, but we are listed as a private school for all intents and purposes of the law, so there's documentation, report cards, transcripts, and the whole thing. Dear Nancy, thank you for your help with both the Saxon and Barnes & Noble orders. I'm so glad there is an organized person like you to help disorganized people like me. And the last one, dear Nancy, thank you so much for faxing the copy of your transcript. It is the best example I've seen. God bless your school sincerely. So I'm just appreciative of all these little thank you letters, and I have copies of these on the website, familytreehomeschool.com, and I want to mention that the familytreehomeschool.com website has a link for teachers and parents tools. And these are everything from organizational charts for you to a summary of credits that high schoolers should be pursuing, how to get a book report from your child. Let's say it's summer and they do go to a traditional brick and mortar school, but you want to have them do a book report over the summer. Well, there's a guideline on how to get your child to do a book report over the summer. So please feel free to go to familytreehomeschool.com and you can access all of these help aids for your parents and teachers to use. Now, the last thing I just want to mention is next episode, I have a special resource that is used by professional human resource directors insurance agencies, government HR departments about careers. It's a one-stop shop that describes careers in detail, what's required, what kind of personality you should have if you're going to do a certain job, where you can get hiring information, the pay scales, and the temperament kind of person you need to be when you have this career. It's a one-stop shop. So next episode, we're going to go over that because that is very helpful information. Anyway, I want to just close it up for now, and thanks so much for joining me again, and you all have a wonderful day, and be vigilant with your children, and I hope that they're doing well no matter how small they are or how old they are. God bless you. Speak to me.